In this movie, we'll be talking about background size. Background size is one of the new background image options in CSS3. If you look on Can I Use, you'll find that support for all these background image options is pretty much there. The only browsers that don't support it that we care about a lot are IE8 and below. If you want to follow along, open up background.html. That's in your working files folder. The background image for this page is absolutely stunning. It's actually an aerial picture of the shuttle lifting off. Unfortunately, the way I have it set up right now, no one's ever going to see that, unless they have a massive display. I'm going to set background position to center. Now we can see the shuttle, but ultimately I don't just want to see the shuttle, I want to see the entire image, because really that's what gives it the beautiful sense of scale. I can do that using background size. If I say background size contain, whenever the element with the background image resizes, the background image will scale itself so it's always contained inside. So as you can see, that works just fine. Unfortunately, in my opinion, it doesn't look so great. I would rather have the background image always cover the screen. It turns out you can do that as well. Background size cover will make it so no matter how you resize this document, the HTML tag will always have the background covering it, and you'll never see an edge. Now, it turns out there's a lot more to background size than just cover and contain, although those are definitely the most interesting new features. We also have the ability to change the size of an image down to, let's say, half of its original size. By doing that, we increase the pixel density of that image. Now, that doesn't seem to make any difference here in this browser, but on my mobile phone it does. You've probably heard of high-density displays as Retina displays on iPhones and iPads. Apple has taken this technical property of these devices and marketed it very successfully. The idea behind a Retina display, or a display with a higher pixel density, is that if you cram more pixels into a certain area, the image will look crisper. If you look at a very old iPhone, you'll see that you can actually see the pixels. On the newer iPhones, you can't see the pixels because their displays actually have pixels that are half as wide and half as tall. However, if you ask the device how wide it is, instead of saying it's 640 pixels wide, for example, it'll still say it's 320. Basically, it wants to respond exactly the same way a 320 pixel wide device does, while getting the benefit of higher quality imagery and higher quality text. So what we can do is, instead of using our shuttle.png image, which is 400 pixels by 260, there's actually another one included. It is shuttle at 2x.png. It's 800 pixels wide, that's double the width, and 520 pixels tall, that's double the height. If I save this and refresh it, watch what happens to this image. Sure enough, it displays at double the width and double the height. But if we want this image to display at the normal size, but really nice and high resolution on these high resolution displays, like mobile phones, we can use background size to decrease the size. We're going to make it 400 pixels wide and 260 pixels tall. And sure enough, now our image looks exactly the way it did before. At least it looks exactly the same on a laptop screen. If you look around, you can find plenty of examples of Retina versus non-Retina graphics. And in fact, you can even find websites that you can open up your mobile phone to and see the difference. It's definitely not a huge difference. It's not a thing you have to do, but it does make websites feel a lot sharper on mobile devices when they have images that are double the resolution shrunk down using background size.